My name is Brian. I am here to replace a water pump in a 2005 Buick Rendevous. And as you'll see here, this is where the water pump is. And so what I did already is I took out the battery. And I took out just to be safe. And here's the bolts, and it takes a number 10 crescent wrench. To go and take it off, but I'm having one challenge is because one of the bolts is tough and I don't have one of the things that I can grab here, so I've got one more bolt to go, but I'll be doing this in pieces, so I'll let you know how it goes so you can at least learn from my mistakes. How's that? All right, talk to you in a bit. Hey, Brian here again. All right, what I had to do next was I was pretty successful. I loosened up one of the bolts because I didn't have that item to prevent the water pump from spinning, so I just put some degreaser on that bolt, and then I had to release the tensioner. Now I had to release it for the serpentine belt. So let me have you take a look here. What you'll see is here's the water pump. So I took off the this was where I had to take off the plate. And back there was the tensioner for the serpentine. So I've released the serpentine belt. So now that's off. And obviously this appears to be working just fine. But the mechanic told me that I need to replace it. So, he said it was going to go bad. So I figured I might as well just get ahead and replace it now before anything else kind of happens on the road. So next step will be to replace these bolts here. Using an 8, and I've got down below, if it drains, I've got the proper for the storage where the extra coolant will come through. So anyway, my hope is that I've got the right part, because here's the part right here, $20 when I got it at O'Reilly's, which was pretty awesome. So hopefully we'll be in the right position. Okay, we're back here, and I had a heck of a time because this was so sealed to, with the gasket. I had to spray some degreaser on it and then just kind of like pry it loose with this little gadget and just kind of like a little wrench hammer type. But as you can see, it's now draining, and even down below, I've got it draining itself. But I'm just letting it slowly drain so I can clean it up and then put in the new unit. So that's where we're at right now, and I'll be checking back in with you. Okay, we're back, and here we are. I got the, I just dropped that. I've got the entire unit off. Here is what it looks like. Still operating. As you can see, that works fine. I can't tell if it's any, good or not, but I don't know. He just told me. And so here we are looking on the inside, and we're going to clean it out. We're going to clean out the edges of the excess here with a little bit of a razor blade and clean it, and then when that gets done draining, I will put in the new one. I'm just kind of cleaning it up, making sure everything looks good on it. So you will see us with when we're ready to go ahead and attach it. Alrighty. Okay, here I am again. What I've had to do is really scrape the gasket off, which is really difficult actually. This thing probably hasn't been changed in, since 11 years. And of course, what happened I didn't plan for was all the residue, that would fall from there on that area. So, as I saw from a previous video, we want to simply just kind of clean up the area with some water, and just make sure all the little pieces are from off the belt that I took off. But to make it a little bit more cleanly, as you can see on the inside, I've got it all pretty clean. I'm going to just do that last piece there, and then I'll put on the new one. Okay. Here we're going to install the new water pump. What I just found interesting was the gasket. You got to have it lined up, because what it does is it twists around and it looks like it's a little bit off. But now I've got it, I've just twisted it around numerous times and got the right lineup with the holes in the gasket. I had no silicone or anything to put on there, so I'm just going. They say you can go as dry, and that's what I'm doing here. Okay, we're back. I had a heck of a time putting the bolts in. Well, not all of them, but just one, so I had to shift it. And when I came to find out, it looks as if this arrow is either the top or the bottom. So, of course, I went with the top because it's noticeable, and every bolt fit in just perfectly. Now, I don't have a measurement item to measure the pounds per square inch of torque that I needed to do. So I just try to remember what it was at in the original side, and I took off the radiator cap. I'll fill it with the radiator, and then just kind of see if there's, I'm not sure if it'll flow in there, but if there's any leaks, but may not show it right away. But we'll then put on the serpentine belt. I'll put this back on. This will go here, so to speak. And then I'll put on the belt, and we should be good to go. So I'll let you know. Okay, we're back, and I've had to I cleaned this up a little bit, the cylinder, and then I had to put these bolts in, and they went in relatively easy. The challenge is because you can't tighten it without it spinning, so I don't have the proper torque already. So right now I'm going to put back on the serpentine belt using this for my tensioner. Simple, just a ratchet, and then I end up putting that in the tensioner hold. Move the belt, put the belt back on here, which you'll see here, and then see if I can't use a little bit of that. The challenge is really getting that thing down the proper specifications. So that'll be tricky, and I hope to make it happen. Okay, we have done everything. Fortunately, we had a blessing because a guy named Clay came over and showed me how to tighten the bolts without a torque measurement. And all we did was use a screwdriver and go in the opposite direction to find the right torque. And he also said that the smaller the bolt, or like if it's a 10 millimeter or 8 millimeter, the less torque. So 25 pounds, which is just a good, pretty good tug on the system. But what I also learned is that you have to bleed it out. And in this Buick 2005, this is the bleeder valve right here. So we opened it up a little bit, and we're running the car for 5 minutes, making sure that the coolant, the reservoir excess is practically full, and then this is full, so we can bleed out because we don't want any air pockets in the system. So hopefully everything will go well in the next 5 minutes, and all in all, without my phone calls, it probably took about an hour for a guy like me that doesn't know anything about cars. All right, have a great one. Hope it helps out.